I have been a public school educator, counselor, social worker, and administrator for almost 35 years. I can truly say that the possibility of the community schools movement excites me more than any other initiative I've been part of in my entire career. For the next few minutes, I invite you to visit some of our amazing schools and meet a few of our remarkable students, families, and school leaders. What you are about to see isn't a guide for how to do community schools. The folks you will meet haven't figured it all out. In fact, they are deep in the work. This is a point on the journey. It's a process. With community schools, ultimately the process is the people and the relationships that create change. Let me now invite you to join us on this journey. Here is Engaging Transformation.
I actually graduated Ganesha 2015. It makes me really happy to be back as a mentor and, as a community-based organization to be able to provide back to the school. Growing up at Ganesha, I know it was a lot different than it is now. The support for the students as well.
Looking at what the resources are and also checking to see if we're able to connect with any other provider in the community to bring in more support or resources here to the school depending on what the need is.
The staff have been very open to collaborating with our organization and allowing for us to work with the students because not only are we this outside entity coming into the school, but we are part of the school community. Especially now more than ever, it is important for us to be on school campuses and supporting our LGBT students and allies because of the rhetoric happening not just nationally, but in our own backyard.
Here at our school, it doesn't just operate as a separate entity. It is part of the fabric of everything that we do here at the school.
What we do here at Vista is we have strong partnerships within the community that we leverage to be able to really mine the assets of our students to transform the students' experience here and really focusing on becoming the heart or the hub of the community through building relationships, talking with families, and with elevating all the voices of all stakeholders.
Cuando hacemos consejo en el café con el director, nos ayuda mucho a conocernos como padres, también a sacar algunos sentimientos que a veces tenemos guardados. El proceso es, creamos un círculo donde nos escuchamos con respeto, nos escuchamos desde el corazón y nos ha servido mucho también para conocer al personal de la escuela, no solo como profesionales, sino también como padres.
As I see change take hold in community schools throughout our county, I know that it will be meaningful and lasting change because of the way collaborative leadership is baked into the DNA of the work.
I'm here to intently listen to what the school already has going on, what's working, which are the partnerships, which are the arts, and we're here to add in and bring in everybody's voice, the parents, the students, and the community.
Being invited to be a part of McKinley's decision makings within their school setting as a parent has given me a sense of incorporation, of being heard as a parent.
Just to have someone ask the question, what is it that you would like to see for this school, your community? How does it support the teachers, the families, the students? I felt that was very instrumental and powerful. It had never been asked and put into action.
Rather than just have this smaller representative set for the LCAP development, we purposely designed mini community school advisory boards at each of our school sites that had a admin, a teacher, a classified staff member, and a parent from each school site who then came together here at the district office to meet with us, where that quadrupled the amount of leadership in terms of how we were planning for our LCAP. It really is an opportunity for bringing all of that together rather than be concerned or afraid or timid. It may take a little longer, but you're going to end up with a better product and it's going to be cohesive.
And one of the things that has helped us is that communication. When the pillars came out about the shared decision, what is our process going to be? And we need classified to be involved. They had the open communication.
If you're not at the table, you're not always heard. And I think that's one of the wonderful things that we were able to create and establish here in Mountain View. And what was so powerful was that everybody's voice was there. We even had students that came and did a SWOT analysis. It was just so powerful to hear students advocating. We're talking about 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade students advocating for the needs of their school and their community.
As I see change take hold in community schools throughout Los Angeles County, I know it will be meaningful and lasting change because it is rooted in social and racial justice that speaks truth in ways we cannot turn away from. Direct and systemic racism and inequality have driven disparity in our education outcomes for generations. We need to name it and end it.
The community school is really recognizing the assets that are both in and outside of the school. Being a member of this community of Boyle Heights, ancestrally here, I think about who I was as a high schooler here, and I tell my students every day that I am proud that we've made so much progress from what it was like in the 90s. I know that my young people feel affirmed when they come to school. I know that they can be able to show up and be celebrated.
It's not just like doing community building circles, it's not just solving conflict between other students, it's also healing.
I think about my students, their identity, and helping them understand what that is. Helps them see their place in the world and helps them see how they can help others, help kind of empathize with other communities as well. When I think about teaching, when I think about my curriculum, I always have my students first, but also other marginalized communities that often get ignored, that often get silenced.
Before you join restorative justice, you should know the difference between sympathy and empathy. Sympathy is the act of feeling sorry for somebody. Empathy is the ability to understand and cope with somebody. And I feel like that's our main thing in restorative justice.
So when I think about how do we leverage as a school relationships, we leverage it by recognizing convivios, opportunities for the community and the school to coexist.
As I see change take hold in community schools throughout our county, I know that it will be meaningful and lasting change because community schools engage in an ongoing reflection, analysis, and shared learning. This is all done with a focus on student learning conditions, well-being, and outcomes, and to ensure students, families, school staff, and the community are valued, engaged, and empowered.
Issues of racial injustice, socioeconomic injustices, environmental injustices. For me, being a school leader, we want our students to actively engage civically.
So I'm part of SSC, which is Schools Like Castle. I had to run against 30 different students, and they only picked 5. So it was really the students who picked me to be part of SSC and be able to represent them. Wow, I was really in shock because I really didn't know what was I getting myself into. I learned about budget. I learned how the teachers work. It's just amazing working with other students and teachers. It's like exciting, a new adventure every day.
My hopes and dreams for both my children is that they're exposed to things that enhance their education, their cultural awareness, and give them a broader insight on all that they can be to expand their mind on the infinite possibilities of being the best human being, the best brother, sister, father. There's a community behind them and that there's resources that will always help them along the way.
Creating a community school is where parents, teachers, principals, students, where they should feel welcome, you know, they should feel appreciated, loved, and where they know they have the resources, that they have the help, that they could come to the school whenever they need it, for the school to be like a second home to them.